welcome back. Rare Talks, you already know what it is. Like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't, please go to the Spotify and check out all the exclusive episodes on the Spotify. And today I'm joined again by my co-host.
Hi guys, I'm Nat.
You might have known her from the
Lowdown.
But now she's on the
Rare Talks.
Okay, thank you very much. That's all. No more. We don't need no more introduction. You'll know. And we also got another special guest who goes by the name of
Nikki Brown.
Nikki Brown. Yeah. So this week we're having another amazing episode for the people. So yeah, Nikki Brown, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm a music artist. I sing and I rap. It's more higher frequency music, but I make club bangers at the same time as well. I need to finish off my EP. The EP's coming out within 3 weeks, y'all willing. So I hope that I'm definitely on the road to get that going and happening. So just look out. This last single, Know Who I Be, is out there. So just stream that, look it up. If you want to feel good, if you want to feel happy, just look that up and you'll get that vibe from my music.
So we're gonna jump straight in. I got topic that I wanted to speak about today was spirituality. What does that mean to you two? What
is that religion? Spirituality. It's religion for me. It's my beliefs. Everything I believe in is spiritual.
But what does it mean to you though? Like, alright, cool. So someone will say to you, look, I'm a spiritual person. What is that person trying to intend to you?
They connect with energy.
They connect to the divine source. The divine source, which I say Yah. I don't say God, I don't say Allah, I say Yah. But for spirituality it's the connection to the divine source of creation, to the ether, to the all. Do you get what I'm saying?
But when someone says Yah, where did that come from? That saying of Yah, where did that come from?
Basically, YHWH is written on the walls in most of the African countries, on buildings, in pyramids, in scriptures from scrolls, and so on, that basically are 8,000 BC plus. So these buildings and scrolls and so on are older than 9,000 BC basically. So because I've been into this from young, do you know what I mean? So over years you accumulate knowledge through different research and different sources, and also through your own personal connection to the divine source of creation. Do you know what I mean? To Yah. Do you know what I mean?
But the thing is, when someone says that to me, because I was soul searching at one time, and I was looking into a lot of Black history, and one thing I did learn was that whenever I hear someone say that they want to connect with the ancestors, is that some things that the ancestors done we cannot connect with.
That's right.
So let's not even say we're connecting with them. Let's say we're connecting with the truth, because some things they were doing, out of everything, if I was to tell you certain things that they did, you lot would not believe me, and you would say, I'm not even on that connect with my ancestors thing.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
I don't know what we're talking
rape
about.
their daughters, normal, and impregnate them.
Yeah.
And then they have to have the youth. And if the youth don't come out, a boy, the man's killing the girl. Man's killing the girl straight, burying her alive. So there's some things, when people say to me they want to connect with ancestors and whatever, I say, bro, that's kind of mad, because the ancestors were keeping up madness, like making women sleep with animals, bare crazy stuff.
With energy doesn't necessarily mean you're connecting with ancestors.
That's
it's
right.
just all of the above.
That's why I said the divine source of creation, all the ether. Do you know what I mean? Because you can pray to ancestors, cool, but who is the divine creator? Who is that? Who did they pray to? Who did they connect with? Do you know what I mean?
But I think that this word spirituality has been thrown around loosely, and I think a lot of people are hiding behind some evil practices and saying it's done under spirituality. The guy just recently, and I don't like to talk about people when they go through their problems, but there's a guy called Brother Polite,
you are. I don't rate him at all. We're talking about? I do not rate him at all. Sorry, go on. You can go on.
No, who is he?
He's go on. You can explain.
He's basically some guy that's meant to be of this conscious community. I don't believe in no man-made religion, blah blah blah. But he's just been caught for paedophilia of his wife's daughter. You know what I'm saying? And Lord knows how long that's been going on for. So all this conscious talk, all this spiritual talk, but really in the end, he's probably manipulating her through spirituality and through that tool of spirituality.
With spiritualness, when you come into it, it's not something that people tell you. When people are telling you, oh, you need to connect, you will never connect. It comes to you. Your knowledge is your own, and then you grow what you know.
But you know what? That's saying this. Every single thing that you are given in this world is through knowledge.
Yeah.
But it's through knowledge that's taught to you. It's not through knowledge that you have yourself.
Not necessarily.
Only there's a few things that are
not necessarily.
It's a combination of all.
Everything,
It is a combination of all of it, because everybody's an individual. Everybody has their own individual connection to the Most High Divine Creator. Do you know what I mean? Everyone has their own makeup, but also our thoughts, our perceptions, which determine our feelings. Basically are shaped. They do have
by
an
things that we
influence.
see.
They do have an influence and are shaped
do.
from the environmental things, i.e. your upbringing, if you're brought into a religion, things that may happen in your personal life. Do you know what I mean?
I still, like I said, a lot of evil is hidden through the banner of spirituality. So when people say to me spirituality, I start to think of all the evil things that actually come with it. Because there's a lot of things that people do. I'll give you one of them, and a lot of you lot didn't know this. The ancient practice of crystals comes from summoning demons.
It doesn't come from that.
Okay, you want to bet me? The reason why they used to summon demons back in them days is because they used to have beef with other tribes, and because the beef was so deep. You've killed so much of my family members that I want some curse to go upon your family. So what they'll do is in Islam would call them jinns.
What kind of era are you talking about?
This is from the beginning of when people learnt magic, because magic was taught. It wasn't something that people made.
No.
They was
So would
taught.
you say this is before religion came about, or after, or during?
So what people say is that religion came about. All right, let me just tell you something. If there's a person who has the self-belief that
magic has always been here, like before religion, before anything. How do you think the world is?
No, you're not listening. But when you lot say religion, you're talking about the Abrahamic faiths, and you're talking about the establishment of them through one prophet. But if you look at what the Abrahamic faiths are all saying, is that there was prophets before, and if you go all the way back down the whole lineage of where we get to God, where we get to the divine creator, there was a prophet. So what I'm trying to say to you is, it was never what people would perceive as what religion was just something that people was doing from the beginning of time up until now. Now, if you can,
what do you mean, like a way of life?
A way of life.
So have you heard of the 42 laws of Ma'at? M-A-A-T. Have you heard of that?
No, never.
Because basically exactly what you're talking about is where is basically that's what it was. There was the 42 laws of Ma'at. Ma'at was around for thousands of years before, I know you don't want to say it, but before religions like, Islam, Christianity, Sikhism, before all these things came about. And if you look at all those religions, there's a lot of similarities between them, i.e. they all have a prophet that's connected. A lot of the pictures that you see that are ancient, they all have like a sun behind them, which is like a halo, which shows like the divine connection to the 360. So the laws of Ma'at is what man lived by before any of that came about. All the religions stem from that. That's where the 10 Commandments come from. That's where certain things in the Quran come from, the laws of Ma'at. And that was basically because obviously we all know black people were the first people on this earth. So the region of like Sudan, Tanzania, Egypt, Eritrea, all of that was kind of like all one, basically. Sorry?
How do you spell that, sorry?
M-A-A-T. Yeah. And basically that's from my research from years of whatever I've been going into, do you know what I mean? To me, that is where the first people on this earth came from. And in those times, like our consciousness, like our connection to the all, to Yah, was a lot more open. We was utilizing a lot more of our brain then. So connecting to angelic beings or to connecting to the divine creator through different realms, it was just normal
Everybody
practice.
could do it.
You could retrieve information. And that's how prophets came about, because they retrieved that information from that divine source because their consciousness was open. But then over time, that's when you get... What happens is, unfortunately, because obviously Yah gave every human being the will of choice, and some people go free will, so some people, their spirit will go with what is righteous, what is the way of life, what is love, what makes life carry on, which and positivity. But there you do get human beings who the greed takes over, envy takes over, and anger takes over. So what they do is they then use that power for their own personal uses. And what happens is what they're practicing does not come from the source of the divine creator. It comes from the opposite entity to the divine creator.
There's a balance,
which is there's always feminine, masculine, positive, negative. Without the feminine equal balance of both, no life would exist. No plants would grow. That is the vibration. Do you know what I mean?
But then we're gonna go back to this now. So what we're saying is that like I said, I'm going to go back to this, and this is very important. It's a very important point that I make this to you. So in that time of the first prophet up until the last prophet, there had to be... if we say that there was no religions in certain times, there was still a way of life. Now, let me just break this down to you. I think a lot of people have a misconception of what Islam is, and I think it's only until you study and research and understand it, you understand it correctly. People think that the word Islam means peace. It doesn't. It means submission to the Creator, submission to Allah. So if we say that every prophet submitted to Allah, forget a religion, we're saying that he submitted himself and put all worship to him and didn't worship the idol and the sons, because there was a time when people started to make up their own minds and the devil started to inspire them. Because remember, you have to just remember this, a lot of people don't like to believe this, but there is someone called Shaitan. He's real. I've seen him in people before. I've actually seen him. You probably have as well. Everyone's seen that guy that had the Shaitan in him, and you're like, bruv, why is he moving like that? He's killed 20, gone into a school and killed 20 children. That's not a normal human being thing to do. A child, like, that's the devil, that's Shaitan.
He lingers.
So what I'm saying is, there's always been that guy, and he's always been trying to make people go away from the right path, and the right path is always to worship the Lord alone. So all right, cool. So look, if we
Can I just ask you about that though?
Go on.
Because a lot of people say that because they say, all worship to the Most High. Yeah, but what? Okay, you would say Allah or God, but the most are we not created by the Creator?
Yeah.
And are we not created in the image and of the Creator? Yeah.
No.
Are we not?
No. So
go on, answer that. Yeah.
So God made Adam from black mud. This is where a lot of people I think a lot of people don't realize that a lot of things that come about now come from actually Islam, but you just don't realize it. It's created from black mud. Now, black people say, a lot of people with spiritual say the first people on earth was who? Black people. But then if I go even further to say that to you, everybody was wiped off the planet when the prophet Noah came, because there's a big flood. Every single thing that was on the planet was destroyed that wasn't on that boat. So they say that really all life really comes from Noah. Think about it, because all life was extinct at that time. So after the prophet Noah, that's when all life actually began. See, people don't really think like this, right? If prophet Noah was the only person, how did he? So there was different ways that the Lord was blessing him and making things happen. So when we're speaking about the people now, and we're speaking about where we came from, that's not what's important. The laws of what everything is promoting is what is important. What does your laws and what you stand for? That's what this is where I said Islam made sense to me. Everything it was saying was calling me to righteousness, to goodness inside my soul. Not goodness for you and for you, but goodness for the whole world. If I don't sleep with your wife, that's good for the whole community. It's not just good for me.
But then Islam also says that it's okay for a man to have more than one wife. Now, I don't agree with that. I think that's nasty.
Okay,
I think that's disrespectful to women.
Let me say,
and I've had many debates, because where I live, I've got basically, it's not a mosque, but it's a place of Islam worship at the bottom of my road. And opposite that, you got the Seventh Adventist Church. So I've walked down my road and had many debates, even before that, before. And so also, because what it is that man has had influence in the writings and practice of certain religions, and that's fact. Yeah, man has had influence in religion. Man has had influence in writing the Bible, and man has had influence in writing the Quran. Yeah. Now, within the Bible and within the Quran, I know that there are practices and there are certain things in the Quran and the Bible that will connect, that can help you to basically connect to the Most High Divine Creator and to live a righteous life and a beneficial, prosperous life that evolves, and to achieve, your sole purpose of what you're here to do. But man has had an influence within it. Now, the primary source of vitamin D comes from the sun. Yeah, you can't get vitamin D anywhere else. It's only in 2 fish, and they manufacture it and put it in milk. And I don't even drink milk, so yeah. But anyway, that's what they do. So vitamin D is a key nutrient for anybody's body, for the bones, for the skin, for the blood, for the brain, for everything, So, within Muslim, they say that women has to cover up themselves. Now, I understand that, okay, a lot of men were in trouble and they know she's a good girl, fine. But to me, a woman should be able to go to the beach or go to the park and play with her friends or her sisters or her mum or her dad or her kids or her nieces or her nephews in a vest top and shorts because it's hot, and they are decent. They look decent and they behave decently. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And the thing is, the sun is a key thing. We need the sun. And when I see the hot weather and I'm baking in a t-shirt and there's women that are covered from head to toe because man's eyes wander. If man's eyes wander, man needs to work on himself. It's not the woman's fault. Do you get what I'm saying? But alright, cool. So why would God say lock off yourself from the most primary source of something that we essentially need? Y'all wouldn't say that to me. Cool. Do you get what I'm saying? But that's just a simple example of man's influence within religion. That's all I'm saying. No.
It's not. And sometimes I can give you the greater purpose to things.
Yeah.
So the first thing you said was the polyamorous marriages. Now let me just break something down to you lot. And I know you lot didn't know this, but I used to study history. This is mad. And we're going to go into some next topics now. So basically, understand this. When wars would happen, who dies in wars? The men, women, children, or the men?
The men.
The men. Okay. So on my side, we've all been...
I've heard this before.
So you think that you should have multiple wives just in case you're going to dead?
No. Hear me out. So
they say there wasn't enough women for the men or whatever.
I'm going to give you the logical.
So
I'm going to give you the logical.
Before you give us the logical reason, do you believe now that men should have more than one wife?
Listen closely to me and listen closely to me first. You have to understand the point of what I'm trying to say to you. So the Lord has never been unjust to man. He's never been an oppressor to man. He's never put men in a situation where it's been difficult. He's always made it easy for everybody, for men and for women. Now understand this. Just understand this point for a second. All the men have gone to war. All the men have been rubbed out. There's more women than men. Now, you're telling me your daughter that grows up, she should be single for all her life because all the men would be taken because there's not a lot of men. But we need to create because we need to survive another war that might hit us. So we have to have children. So my Somali brethrens, a lot of my Somali brethrens, their dad's got more than one wife. Yeah, and they've been growing up in households where there's 10 children.
See, that's just
but what I'm saying,
disrespectful to the woman. If you're putting your dick, sorry to be explicit, sorry. When marriage is supposed to be the two people connecting as one under Yah. Yeah, 2 as 1.
So Yah says that in what book though?
But that's what marriage is. It's the connection of 2.
It's not. No, but what I'm trying to say,
you're showing your divine.
So let me just say something. Let me just say something to you. Back in the day, in ancient history, having more than one wife was normal.
Okay. Then,
So what I'm trying to say to you is,
but a lot of things were normal. Slavery was normal back in them days. It doesn't mean to say it was right.
No, but I'm saying...
Do you get what I'm saying? There's a lot of things that went on in those days.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is, you don't understand something. Have you ever been to Africa?
No,
I want to go.
Alright, cool. So you see in Africa, let me just break something down to you. See in Africa, these practices are normal. They will look at you weird if you tell them opposite. Now,
But
if
that's
you go,
from conditioning
what I'm
over
saying.
so many years.
Cool,
They've
same.
been conditioned
I heard
to
that.
think that is normal.
But that's
when it's not. It's
why
like
is it
if
not?
you take an animal,
Why-
But it's normal for them. It's not normal for them.
Who are we
because
to tell?
like I said,
Who are
if
we-
you put you know,
Who are we
sex
to tell
is
them?
supposed to be making love. Yeah,
it's not.
It is.
No, it's not.
It is
Reproduction as
and
well. There's all
reproduction.
different.
It's reproduction.
Yeah.
That's the main goal of it.
So
It's not love. Nothing love to do with it. Animals have sex.
okay, there is something to do with it because if
Animals-
any man or
animals have
any
best
girl
sex.
goes around having sex with anybody and and breeding everybody, then I would say that's loose and they don't know themselves. That's what I would say. I would say that's very loose. It's nasty because when you put yourself in someone, the energy is transferred to that person. Fact. Yeah, it interferes with your metaphysical, like with your metaphysical balance. Yeah, so if this person is putting their things in lots of different people, they're taking on all these different energies, and then you want to come back and say that's your wife.
No, but
precious. And that when you put it in, all those energies are interfering with that person's energy. That's a whole mix up of energy, and that interferes with your thinking, your feeling, how you're operating every day. Do you get what I'm saying? So there's no pureness. It's not pure. Yeah, it's not pure.
But you see, this is what I'm saying, and this is where we have to be a little bit careful. And this is what something about the West that we love to do. Yeah, we love to look at other people around the world and say, I don't like how they're living, even though they have been surviving for centuries and been living good lives and dying happy deaths. Man's on their deathbed smiling, but we would come and be like, well, I don't think the way you lived was right.
I don't
the
say
thing
that
with the West, yeah,
because
is that
everyone's
we
culture
get
is
so
different.
influenced by what the Western people want us to that we start to lose our own identities of actually what our
I don't even
heritage
follow
is.
Western because
You've
you know
got-
what?
You
see my degree. I got a degree in sociology and sports science. Yeah.
No, but listen,
And you
monogamy
see-
not monogamy is not something of black people. I hope you
Listen,
realize
I'm
that.
going on my divine spiritual self and what I'm saying. Because
that's
if
you
I'm
then,
with
okay.
somebody and I'm a very spiritual person, I feel things and I see things that come about. Do you get what I'm saying?
See things.
No, I see things happen like in front of me. Do you get what I'm saying? And my spirit's already warned me about it and things have happened. Do you get what I'm saying?
We was talking about this earlier, but in a different
when I know
sense.
what you're saying about Western teaching because I've got a degree in sociology, which is about people, power, society, how the norms of society are pushed through basically, and how people grow and learn and be. Yeah, and I did sports science and exercise, physiology, psychology, and even in Western, they teach you, okay, if you're an athlete, you need protein, you need chicken, you need carbohydrates, you need pasta, but they don't even teach you. This is this is after the degree, and I've done my own holistic research. They don't even teach you. They don't even teach doctors that treat people in the hospitals that if the whole of the body is alkaline, no disease can survive in that environment. Yeah, no disease, no imbalance, no toxins can. It's like you starve someone of oxygen. Now they don't teach that, and I've questioned and grilled doctors and said in hospital, and they can't answer me. So I know about the Western teaching. That's why I look. My sources of information are from like a very vast different sources that are valid sources and don't come from the influence of that. Do you get what I'm saying?
But see, the thing is, and I'll say it again, yeah. One thing that I've realized a lot in my life is that Western teachers are pushed upon you so hard that you start to think that the people in Africa and the people in the Middle East are backwards. When really, them people are actually in front of us because they're living more righteous lives than us. Even though you think how you're living is righteous, it's not as righteous as what them people are. Because them people can survive off less than what you have.
100%.
And they have happy lives.
Yeah.
They're very happy lives.
I
And you
agree.
would see them with less than what you have. And you'd be like, why are they smiling? They ain't got nothing.
Yep.
But you out here with
tell my
everything
kids
and
that
you're
all the
depressed.
time.
So my whole thing is this. You see, when it comes to ancient teachings and what we're going through, there's some things that are pushed on us that are not from us, and that's the reason why there's problems with us. Monogamy is not a thing of ancients, and it's not something that was ever practiced. It was always, and it's always been a polyamorous relationships.
Yeah, no, I know that though. In other
the thing
So
cultures.
if that's the case, then why can't we do it to men then?
what do you mean?
So because of the
reason
You want me to
why.
break that down?
Did you not listen to him?
Because it's not.
He already explained this to us. He went through this
Yeah.
already. He's not going through it again. I'm not listening
No,
to it again.
he's not.
Yeah.
But this is what I'm saying, because if that's what the case is, then okay, women should do it then. They're men.
No.
But this is the thing. Why should they do it? Because it's nasty.
No. You know,
But when men do
you know
it,
why
it's
women can't do it?
accepted.
Do you know why women can't do it? Let me tell you why.
It's not acceptable.
Let me tell you why.
It's
I'm gonna
nasty.
give you my two
It's
logical
nasty.
answers. One, if you have one key that can open many doors.
Do you know
This man was
what?
gonna
I've
come with
spoken
this
with a lot of
country now. I
Muslim
knew he was
people,
gonna say
and do you
this
know,
shit. I
over
knew.
the years, speaking with so many Muslim
One
men,
dick
and
and
do you know what they
open
say? They
door,
actually
yeah.
take the
Go
mickey. They take the mickey. They
No,
say,
alright, cool.
they
Even-
say, oh, you can't have beef all the time. You get bored. You need a bit of lamb and chicken. That's what they have. So many Muslim men.
I haven't said that. I didn't
have
say that.
said
I didn't say that. I
to
didn't
me,
say that.
and
I
I'm
didn't
like,
say
you're
that.
disgusting.
No, but what I'm saying, listen closely
Yeah.
to this. Listen
Yeah.
closely to this, and visualize the process and listen to the process, because this is going to be a very easy process to break down to you. If a woman had more than one husband, if she gets pregnant, whose child is it?
You have to do a DNA test.
No DNA tests, because we're in Africa and it's poor.
You'd have to know.
How?
You'd have to see when the baby
You have to
comes.
know who you slept with, when, at what time. You have to start breaking down.
But not
dates.
every time you have sex, a woman gets pregnant.
So what I'm trying to say is, you logically now are trying to break down something that logically don't make sense.
no, but
yourself.
Cool. You're trying to logically break something down that doesn't make sense.
This shit, I can't.
Not
If
every
a girl-
time a woman has sex, she gets pregnant.
Nikki,
though.
I'm asking a question.
Yeah.
If a girl came to you and she said, one of them men got me pregnant, but I don't know which one, what would you think of her? Quick answer.
I would
What do
say
you think
that
of her? What do you think of her?
have a bit
Do
more
you
respect
need
for
to
yourself.
What do you think
the
of her?
same as I'll
What
tell
do
you
you
what
think
I'd
of her?
think of her. Do you know what I would think
What
of
do you
her?
think? Just say it
The
quick.
same as
She's
what I would think as a
nasty.
man having bare children with bare different women.
That's
I
not
think
wrong with that. What's wrong with that?
I would say
That's not wrong with that.
they're exactly the same
Alright,
people.
stop. Let me break
and I
that
would
down.
say to them, you need to have a bit more respect and
So, women, you, in your eyes,
about
women
yourself.
and men should be equal.
Like men, no, it's not as simple as that, because
That's
men
what you
are
just
physically built stronger. Women are sort of mentally and emotionally stronger than men, but men are physically stronger than women. So it's different things for different
It's the balance,
circumstances.
yeah.
But in terms of like intimacy, yeah, and putting like sharing energy with that person. If you're with someone, then it should be you two. Unless you've agreed and said, all right, you
So
do your
do-
thing. You do.
do-
If you've agreed and said, okay, I'm gonna do what I'm doing. Do what you're doing. Then that's your business.
Let's break down something. Let's break something down first of all. In Islam, it doesn't say sleep around. It says to marry. Let me just break something down to you. I'd rather marry your daughter than treat her like a hoe. That's number one. So it's a respect thing as well. There's a respect there. There's a level of respect that I'm marrying your child and I'm not just beating your child. There's a difference. Because if someone comes to you and says they want to marry your child, you'd have respect for that person that they've approached you in a very respectful manner. It's not that I just wanted to have sex with your child because I felt horny. That's a whole different thing. That's a whole different terminology. That is nasty. A man going around doing that's nasty. But we're saying if he's married. Now in Islam it says marry 2, 3 or 4. But if you cannot be just, then marry one.
In India, you've got 30-year-old men marrying 12-year-old girls.
No, but I can't. This is what I'm saying.
And they say, oh, because it's under marriage, it's okay.
No, but what I'm trying to say.
not.
No, look, understand something.
Yeah.
And remember this, yeah? Never forget this. 100 or less than 90 years ago, less than 80 years ago, the age to get of consent in this country to have sex or get married was at the age of 12 years old. I've got proof and I got bare proof from my phone, yeah? In North,
But a woman's body hasn't fully developed.
North Virginia.
A woman's body hasn't even fully developed.
No,
at the
North
age of
Carolina,
16.
sorry, my bad. North Carolina just literally a month ago said they stopped doing 12-year-olds marrying grown men, and now you can 14-year-olds, and now you have to be 16 to marry grown men. That means that 14-year-olds could have married a 34-year-old man, and it was perfectly legal in North Carolina. That's in America, which is a
But like
Western
we say,
state.
who's making the laws? These are demons making laws out
But
here.
all the states in America, they've all got their own rules,
people
right?
that
They
worship
make up their own shit.
things are the ones that are making the laws.
But who's the ones following them?
Those men
All these
in
elites, bro.
suits, the elites in suits, they're the ones that are making the laws. And they're the, do you know what I mean? That's why I
And they're
said
the nasty
slavery
ones.
was legal for how many years? It doesn't mean that it's right. Because it's the law.
Whatever it is
Do you know
that
what I
they
mean?
wanna do.
Because the people who are making the law, they are devils and they're
Let's not
demons.
listen to-
They sacrifice children and they are paedophiles. And a lot of them have been caught. And the information is there for you to look up for yourself on Google
No, but what
or
I'm
wherever.
saying, marrying and
Do you get what I'm
sleeping
saying?
and there's a difference between abusing and marrying. Remember, in the times, like I said, if we go back to ancient Africa, the women used to get married for younger because the women used to develop faster. Now, let me just break something down to you. I went to Jamaica when I was 16 years old. I saw I think she was at least 12 or 13, my little cousin, yeah, no word of a lie, she done more than I see grown women doing nowadays. Yeah, the way she took care of the yard was different. She had a 17-year-old boyfriend. She was 12 or 13, remember. She had a 17-year-old boyfriend. Now, I'm looking at it like, raw, that's all mad, because I'm from UK. I'm like, raw, that's all mad. But everyone else in the cities, everyone else in our little village is saying it's normal. Yeah. So in my mind, I'm like, raw, I want to mash up my man. I want to mash up my man about he's doing with my little cousin. He's a paedophile. The man are like looking at me thinking, yo, what you talking about? Man, girl, man, why y'all move like that for? So in their mind,
conditioning. That's
it
what
was normal behavior. But what you see, this is what I'm trying to say. We in the West, yeah, we love to tell people how they're living and what they should and shouldn't be doing. You see what I'm saying? It's a disease that we have that we need to start curing. We tell people in Afghanistan the way their women are not living, it's not right. Who are we to keep telling people?
Some people say that, but some people don't. Some people are saying, you know what, we all come from different places. Like, do you know what I mean? Each to their own. That's how I am anyway. Because I can't talk about you because I don't know where you're coming from. Do you get what I'm saying? So
I
if
try
that's
not
the
to
way you
judge.
are,
I just make decisions for myself. Like, I personally wouldn't do that, but if that's what you want to do, go for it.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. And that's the way to be. That's the way I am. A lot of people are like that, but a lot of people aren't. And that's what it is today. But like
you sometimes
it's social conditioning. If you took an animal out of the wild as a baby because their mum got killed or whatever, and that animal has been raised in like a sanctuary, and it's been raised for a long time, they can't release it back into the wild because that animal, that leopard that leopard, that tiger has been too conditioned so that it
won't survive.
Even if it goes in its own natural environment, its natural innate instincts have been inhibited, so that it can't even operate the way it's supposed to be operating, so it has to stay there. And that's the same with people, like through conditioning, and that's what's happening today. You got conditioning of drill music, and it's desensitizing the people, like people like love and taking a girl because it's just not in below 20-year-olds
I
vocabulary.
play drill music in my car. I'm driving like an idiot. Yeah. If I put Lovers Rock on, I will just drive nicely.
And because what it is it creates a different frequency. Music creates frequency, and that's what
It's
I was going to
a
go down to spirituality
music.
coming back. Because even like we have like 7 chakras right here. There's circles of energy that are going around in our body that are coinciding with the universe, with the all. Yeah, it's fact. That's what we are. That's what we have. Yeah, that's what our soul is connected to. Yeah, and so like different frequencies. Sound is the basis of all life. Sound comes out at a frequency which creates a vibration. That vibration then creates matter. Yeah, which causes something to form. That's why they say the breath of Allah or the breath of Yah, because Yah spoke everything into being. Sound came out, which created that vibration, which caused matter to form. Yeah, and so everything that we're taking in and things that are come, different sounds, different whatever, it's affecting all of our chakras. All of our chakras. This is our spiritual connection to the divine source, to the ether, to the all. It's affecting all of that. So if you're giving your chakras a particular type of programming, your body is going to operate a particular type of way. And because it's been programmed and conditioned that way so much, it's your natural body's way of being is not even in touch with itself. And that's what happens. So where we're naturally supposed to be, have like relation to people, have care, like be caring, think about the other person, which is a natural thing. Consider others, or do you know what I mean? It's not. They're not being programmed like that because the music has been changed from 4.432, which is a vibration that sparks kind of love, happiness, positivity, that excitement. That's the vibration it kind of gives about. A lot of reggae music is that, and that's why the government tried to ban reggae music, but that's another story, right? That's what it is. Whereas the drill music now and other music that's coming out is coming on a frequency of 440, and that 440 is what creates tension, anger, negativity, greed. It brings about those vibrations within themselves. So that is resonating with all the people. So if you're constantly hearing that in your ear, constantly all the time, it's changing you as a being. Do you get what I'm saying? But what the problem is that, and that is, it's detaching you from thyself, which is your spiritual connection to the divine source.
So
and
that's why
what it's doing.
So that's why some people say I don't listen to music, because all music in general is infusing some sort of emotion inside of you.
It depends on the frequency that is coming out.
I'm gonna give you a frequency, because we're all the same age in this room. So in the 80s, coming up to like the 90s music, and all the slow jams and all the R&B, all them songs were developing a frequency, but that frequency was a lot of children. Yeah, because all them songs were mainly about love, sex, and all that stuff. Yeah. But if you had a whole playlist, people usually only play them playlists when they're having sex. Facts. So we're saying now that frequency was doing something. So all music in general is going to develop a kind of frequency, whether it's good or bad. It depends on what you believe in and what you think is right and wrong. So we can't, for even drill music, because there's good drill tunes, don't get twisted. But there's other tunes and they're just mumbling on the beat. It's just man, da, 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 da. And it's like, what? This is capital extra. Whoever, these radio stations playing this music, and the reason is because the CEOs of radio stations, of MTV, of all these, of the CEOs of people that govern laws and things like that, all these people who are basically who the manager of the radio station or whoever has to go by their rules, the CEO, the person at the top, the record company, the person at the top is not a person that, how can I put this? Serves the positive energy, basically serves the energy of the divine creator. They do not serve that. In fact, they serve the opposite to that. So from when you've got that at the top, and that's what's being deliberated down the bottom, and so whether you're, and that's what I'm saying, if you're gonna listen to music and listen to that, you're a puppet of that. You are a sheep of the person at the top, because that person at the top is governing what is coming out, and you're choosing, okay, because it's all everywhere, I'm gonna go and listen to that. You can listen to that. Like, I'm a musician. Fully, I don't agree fully. There are some banging drill beats, like banging, and I could do a madness. But the thing is, we're not even talking about.
I know we're going off. I know. What it is what I'm talking about is the chakras and your vibration and the connection to the divine self, which and the divine source of creation. But do you know, it's influenced by all these different things.
Do you know what happens with
music? I'm
going back to the spirituality thing. Is that if you ask someone to divine principles that they live through spirituality, they don't actually have none. And that's the reason why I said to you, and I'll go back to it again.
Don't, because it's a connection. You can't just say, oh, somebody told me, so I do.
Cool, I'm spiritual, so I'm going to murder 2 people today.
No, that's not how.
Why not?
That's not how it is.
But do you see what I'm saying? This is what I'm trying to say. Humans have always needed to be tamed, because we are no different to animals if we don't have laws and regulations.
100%.
What difference are we to animals? We kill and we eat and we sleep and we have sex and we reproduce. What difference is between us and animals is that we have is that we have a brain that thinks and that understands what right is wrong. So with that same brain, if I tell you killing a 2-year-old, is that right or wrong? You naturally are going to say no. So when somebody says, yes, I'm going to kill a child, or he has thoughts to do it, what could prevent him from that? Spirituality.
Possibly.
No.
100%.
Knowing that there's consequences to your actions, not in this life, but in the hereafter. That can stop a man
that
from
doesn't
doing
always
a lot
stop
of killing.
people, because people think like that don't stop me when I'm mad. If I'm mad and I see red, that's it. Forget I know what the consequences are. I don't give a fuck. I already knew before I did it. Like that means nothing.
Now, but you see, the closer you get to your connection with your creator, is the closer that you start to see things. Your eyes open up. You ever said the third eye? You talk like this.
But that's what spirituality
My third eye is open.
No.
And that's what we was going to say. That's why we said that spirituality can change that person's decision. 100%. Because it's their connection to the divine creator.
But who's the divine creator?
The divine creation of life is on the love vibration.
No, but this is what I'm trying to say.
It's from the love vibration. If you have that love vibration within you, you will not even have the feeling to go and do that.
No, but
that person did not have the love vibration.
The reason why I can't agree with that is because there is a balance. Yeah, everybody has a balance. There's a balance for everybody.
But if you're if at the end of the day you're in a situation, you can choose whether to say, okay, I'm going to deal with this situation.
Some people can't choose. Walk away. See the people that are genuinely evil.
Yeah,
There's no choice there.
Some people
the good
are.
things
Some
don't
people
enter
are
their
because
head.
they're not connected.
Exactly my point.
They're not connected to the
No, but
divine
even
source.
without being connected, there's a balance. There's a natural balance in life, yeah? Good, bad, positive, negative. There has to be.
But that entails spirituality.
Some
This is what I'm
people
saying,
are
because
just-
metaphysics is spirituality. This is what people don't realise. Metaphysics is spirituality.
I think you lot are forgetting what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is this. Yeah? I think you lot are forgetting what I'm trying to say. I'm saying that, you see, the reason why I chose Islam over every other religion and every other, all this crazy spirituality talk, is because I found out that it had laws and ways to live that was making me a better person inside of my soul. Forget my physical, how I look. It was that didn't matter. Man have a big beard, man not have a beard. I'm talking about my soul. I was feeling good. I was doing good. You know, like little things that people might take for granted. Be good to your parents. Take care of your neighbor. You know what I'm saying? Don't speak bad words.
All of that is in the laws of Mayat.
I'm saying this is in the laws of the Islam. So I learned it from this. And then when I started to practice these things now, and I started to go more into who my creator is and what he wants from me, I was like, rah. And praying and all that stuff. Trust me, for me personally, that done something to my soul. So you see, harming you, I don't want to harm you because Allah tells me not to even hurt innocent people. I don't want to hurt an innocent person.
But so that you don't need to have Islam or Christianity to feel that way, though. It might have helped you as an individual. It might have helped you.
That's what religion,
you know,
is
kind of do for yourself, and that's what it is. Yeah, so it can help. That's what I said in the beginning. I said
Not
it
everyone's
helps.
the same.
There's practices and ways within
Everyone
religion
believes things
to make
differently,
themselves a better person. But some people don't need that. They can get it from, like I said, that spirituality. And when I say spirituality, I'm not talking about connecting and praying to the ancestors. I don't do none of that. To me, the divine creator is divine, and I say Yahweh, Yah. That's what I say. Yeah, because J didn't exist in the alphabet in them time, so it wasn't Jah or Jesus. Yeah, YHWH is on the walls of buildings and before.
But English language wasn't even back them times though.
No, but that's what I'm talking about. This is what I'm saying. Before Islam came about, before Christianity came about, these are the things that are there in stone and on paper.
But languages have always been around. You know that, right?
Yeah, no, I'm saying YHWH. That's why I say Yah. That's why I've chosen instead not to say God, not to say Allah. That's why I say Yah, and that feels right to me, and that resonates with me. But then somebody else, it might not resonate with them. Do you get what I'm saying? But the important thing is to have that connection to the divine creator, whether you call them Allah, God, or Yah. That's what I would say, and to obviously be conscious of what you're doing. Do you know what I mean? But even what you're saying, those things that you were saying about, be good to their neighbor and things like that. Even somebody could simply read the 42 laws of Mayat, and everything that is in there, for me, constitutes
if this is
a positive, peaceful way of life.
If this is an ancient book, then first,
it's not even a book. Like, there's books that are missing from the Quran and the Bible. There's loads of things that are missing.
Muslims don't believe that.
What?
Muslims don't believe anything's missing from the Quran. That's the Muslim.
Okay, but that's what I'm saying. But Muslims will say, okay, it was a lot of Muslims I've spoken with. They will say, but it's the first. I've told them where the date when Islam came about, and they're telling me that. Okay, is that true? No, okay, that's what you believe, but it is fact.
But do you remember?
Do you
remember what I said to you? What Islam, the word means? Do you remember what I said to you, lot? What did I say to you, lot? The word Islam means, it means submission to Allah. So anybody who submits in any time was upon.
So what do you think your
why,
divine purpose? Do you think that you're here to worship Allah? Is that what you think? Yeah. Okay, so why would Allah put you here just to worship Him then?
That's like saying.
So do you feel that you have a sole purpose?
So everyone has a purpose, and the purpose that I said to you is to worship Allah. Now, worshiping Allah, you're looking at it as just prayer. That's how you're looking at it.
No, I'm not looking at it like that. I know that it's in the way that you do things, the way you treat people, and the way you're thinking, and all of that. Yeah,
giving praise, giving gratitude.
Because I do that every day.
Not a lot of people do that.
I do that every single day.
So Nikki, what you're trying to do is you're trying to base how you are on everybody else.
No, I know everybody else isn't like me. Of course I know that.
You see what I'm saying?
Definitely not. You know what I mean?
But at the same time, for everybody to live a righteous life, it would be impossible to everyone try to follow your way when you're one person in one place.
But that's why there's so much different.
No, but I'm not
religions.
saying that everybody should do that my way, because everybody's an individual. They can't.
But all right,
do you know what I mean?
So then how do we get the youths? This is what I say to you now, and understand this. This is where we get a little deep now. How do we get everybody to live righteous lives if there's all kinds of things in the world? How do we do that?
There's a lot of things that will influence that, but the main influence, I would say, you can't even say main because there's so many. It is connection to the divine source.
So basically,
divine
Islam,
creator. Whether it's through Islam, whether it's through Christianity, whether it's through spirituality.
Submitting yourself to God.
To me,
you have to find submitting yourself to God, basically. Submitting yourself to the Most High. That's what you're saying. So basically,
I just don't like the word submit. I don't know what it is.
What do you
give yourself?
Yeah, because
this word submit is perfect.
Because you created us each individually, and everyone has their own individual essence. Do you know what I mean? And so
what do you think your purpose is?
We are supposed to. I'm not going to say that here for everybody to, because that's personal to me. Do you know what I mean? But like everybody has their own individual self. Do you know what I mean? And everyone has certain things that got about them that are for the purpose of their sole purpose. Yeah, they're supposed to discover that, see that, and live that out. Basically, that's the purpose why we're here. And obviously, in order for us to acknowledge and find that, the only way for me is through praying, through connection to the divine creator.
So submitting.
And it is that. But it's
But
not.
you're all here to carry on teachings, because when you reproduce, you have to teach what you've learned in good for it to carry on and for the world to keep going. That's it.
Because y'all put us here to achieve what our sole purpose is, and for a lot of that is giving praise and giving thanks and getting guidance from the Most High divine creator. Yeah, but there's also knowing thyself. You have to know thyself and what your individual.
What does that mean?
Person, knowing your who. So when you're talking, say like I'm here and I'm talking in my head.
9 out of 10 people don't even know their real names.
I know. 9 out of 10 people don't know what melanin is, and they're black, and it's running through their veins, and I'm looking at my skin, eyes, and you don't even know what it is. It's carbon. Without carbon, there is no life. The tree bark is brown. Yeah, the earth is brown. That grows food for us to eat. And I'll say melanin.
The earth is red when you go to Africa.
Yeah, it's red. It's like a reddish brown, and that's what.
How about that?
Yeah, I've seen it. It's beautiful earth. It's beautiful earth.
That was the earth.
I know, it's beautiful earth, but it's brown. A lot of it, some of it's brown, some of it's red. Do you know what I mean? But all of that is melanin. It's carbon, and people don't even know. Without carbon, there is no life. There's no plants. There's no crops. There's no human beings. There's no animals. There's no nothing.
But back to what I said to you, and I think it's really important. What you said, submitting is not just by worship. It's by your actions, your heart, your mind, and your body. So you see, Islam, it compromises of a few things, and I think a lot of people don't know this. It compromises of the heart, the soul, and the limbs, and the tongue, what you say and your actions. So these things are what compromises what a Muslim is. So it's not that you just act a Muslim, but in your heart you don't believe, then you're not a believer. You have to have that belief in your heart, and that belief in your heart comes from knowledge, because knowledge is the thing that defines ignorance from smart. Now, the majority of humans, they don't actually research and learn. They don't study. They take what everybody else says and then they form an opinion based on what everyone has said to them. But when they go and do their own research into the language, into the linguistics, trust me, I've gone deep into this thing. I've gone deep into this thing. I've gone so deep in this thing. I studied Arabic for like 4 or 5 years. So when someone's trying to tell me something, I'm thinking that the Arabic language doesn't even have a word comparison to this. Because some languages, you can't translate it from this to English, because English is a weak language.
It's a low frequency language.
In Arabic, you have masculine and feminine. The same way I talk to you about things is different to how to speak to a man. In English, it doesn't have a masculine or feminine.
Do you know
I
what's
speak to everybody the same way.
Do you know what's a higher frequency language than Arabic? Amharic and Tree. It emits a higher frequency vibration than Arabic.
I wouldn't know, because I'm
Amharic. This is what I'm saying, because I've studied like the language. Obviously not all languages in depthly, but like what you're saying, and I think it's because you're the same day as me. I don't know where they say we look into it, and I started learning Amharic for a little while because it's one of like the first languages like that predates Arabic, and there's another language beginning with N. I can't remember what it's called. And so Amharic tree and the other language that begins with N was like basically one of the first languages that came out, and the frequency and the vibration that they come out at is so high, and it's of such a positive vibration. Like it can create manifestations. Like you speak, you things in, like I said, frequency, vibration, matter. That's the key to life. Yeah. You speak, you project it out, the vibration, matter forms, and things form and things happen.
So this is the same thing which I'm trying to say now. I think you're trying to say the same thing, but you don't understand what I'm saying. It's the same thing with Islam. You don't just say you're a believer. You have to believe it in your heart.
100%.
But then not even just believing it in your heart and saying it, you have to act it. Because action...
But people who are spiritual have to do that. They don't follow Islam, but they do that same way.
No,
There's Christians who do that same way as well.
You can't. You know
so
what?
all I'm saying is that you don't have to just follow Islam to be that way.
Do you know why?
Get what I'm saying?
Let me tell you why it's very hard for any other religion to actually come to that level. Yeah. Islam has not just a lot of rules here, but it has a lot of things that have things that have things that have things. See me, I could have never got bored how many books I bought. The reason being is because I wanted to study. And if you know me, you know I'm somebody, you tell me something, I'm going home and I'm writing 100%. A whole book on what you said, and then I'm gonna bring it back to you and say you chat shit and you don't know shit, and I'm gonna you don't ever speak again because you're a liar. That's the type of person I am. I'll go home. I'll actually make it part of my life to actually to want to show that, and not because I want to be better than anyone. It's just it's a thing that I like to research. I don't like people to tell me something and I don't know it. I like to have the knowing, and I said to you, the knowledge that people want, if they research just 10% of what they want, then 100% they'll find things that make sense to them and that will resonate with them.
I agree, and that's what I tell people. I say, don't listen to me, look it up yourself, because the information is there. And that's what I say to people. That honestly, people that I talk to, I say it to them. I've spoken on the train and people have come up to me and gone, oh, the way you speak, and I'm like, trust me, what I'm saying is true. Look it up yourself, it's there. Do you know what I mean? But
well, today was a lesson for me, but
it was good.
Took in bare information today. I was sat here. I've never been so quiet on a podcast.
No cameras. Just keep going. But so basically, look, I'm not even trying to convert no one. I'm just letting you know that. You see, when I was younger, I researched a lot, and then my research led me to Islam. It wasn't me just sitting there thinking, "Raw, this religion's for me" or whatever. Oh, you can marry more than one. That wasn't even on my mind. My mind was, I need to find the truth, because my mom's bringing me to one church, which is Catholic, and she brings me to Pentecostal. It's different. These are black people, these are white people. But these white people always want me to come on Saturday school, and I don't really I'm not feeling the energy that this guy's trying to always bring me in the back. I'm not with all of that. Don't bring me in no back. Let's sit out here and talk. Why you always want me to go to the back office and talk about he'll be a divine good worshipper if he comes to the back? And I'm telling my mum, I ain't going to no back. I don't watch my cartoons on a Saturday. Your man take me nowhere. Yeah, and then years later find out mad stuff. So I wanted to research and find out. When I studied about slavery at the age of 9 years old, because I had a black teacher that said to me, "You're a very smart young man, but you don't know your history. Go research Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, and Marcus Garvey." I went to the library on a Saturday, opened up the book about Martin Luther King, start reading 2 pages. This is boring. Start seeing these mad pictures of black people. I'm like, read the whole book in the first hour. Then I said, "Raw, black people went through this. I'm mad. I'm gonna smash up, man."
That teacher could have also said to you, now you've read that, go and read about Pharaoh Khufu, and go and read about what's his name?
Maybe she'd even know these people.
Shaka Zulu. Do you get what I'm saying?
Even know
because people like to go back to there. Okay, it's good. Okay, that's a part of history. Yeah, but what about before that? There's thousands of years before that on what we was doing, and to the point where there's things that are present on this earth that man today, near enough white man today, I'm not being racist, I'm just saying, cannot figure out how this was built or how this was done. So I would say read that book, but I'd also, because I've got nieces and nephews, and I'm the eldest of 4, so I've always talked to my younger 3 sisters, right? But And I've worked with offenders, a lot of people, do you know what I mean? And I say to them, you could learn that, but also because before that was when we was really sort of operating on a level where we was connected closely to the divine creator, more than AD. Do you get what I'm saying? Like you said, and they was doing a lot of mad things. Like we said, we talked about that. Yeah, some people, it was for the like voodoo. There's practice a will of healing. The divine creator gave us knowledge and power to know how to heal ourselves, to know what plants to pick. Gorillas do it. They know what roots to take and what leaves to take. We know to heal ourselves. Yeah, that's what we're supposed to be operating on. Yeah, but then it gets changed like sort of down the line. So we need to go back to that source. A lot of people that it was for healing, but like I said, whether it's from the opposite entity spirit that comes into them that makes them feel more greed and more want and more anger, and they use that power, that goodness for bad. And we can't control everybody. Do you know what I mean? We can't control everybody. Everyone's going to have their own judgment day when their soul leaves their body. That's
a question I literally want to ask you. Do you believe in a judgment day?
I believe that the soul lives on after the body dies, but
100%.
depending on what the soul has been serving in the physical life will determine where that soul goes in the afterlife. That's what I believe.
I think everything can be forgiven though. Most things can be forgiven. You just have to recognise where you went wrong and be truly sorry.
It's up to that individual to do that, and if they don't do that, then okay, that's what your soul's been serving. Don't complain when your soul's there in the afterlife. Don't complain. Do you know what I mean?
I think
the conscience of a human, they say, is in the heart. The neter. The conscience of man determines, like the conscience, the heart of the person determines their own consciousness, which is, i.e., connection to the divine source.
The heart is definitely the source of everything. Even in Islam, we believe that there's a morsel of flesh in the body. If it's upright, then the whole body's upright. But if it's corrupted, the whole body's corrupted. That's why you hear man say, "You got a wicked heart. You're a wicked you." Because it's not him, his physical being that's wicked. It's his heart that thinking what he's doing is right, killing people and taking life and destroying women's lives. Doing all kinds of destruction, killing people and destroying countries and stuff like that. And those things are wicked things, and killing children and all that stuff. They're things that you don't even need a religion to tell you that they're wicked. You in your soul, in your heart of hearts, know. That's why when someone does it and doesn't think it's wicked, then people need to be eradicated. Because even if we say we're going to forgive him and give him another chance, a paedophile that saw a 3-year-old as a sexual partner, he will never change.
Of course, but
he will never change because his soul is gone.
His soul is
his
gone.
soul is gone, and we have to.
Exactly.
Then there are people like
people
that.
will not pass.
We can't let him live anymore because, bro, he's gonna. You think he's gonna come out and say, "Oh, I'm changing up," but he should have never even been like that in the first place. What is there to change? Because all of us morally, without even a religion to tell us that's wrong, we all morally know that you don't do that to children. Like, it makes us sick. So how does this guy now get away with this? Or do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
got a question for
a lot
both
of people
you
can't be, so they can't.
I got a question for both of you lot.
Yeah.
The paedophilia of men with younger people is always spoken about, but paedophilia of older women with younger men is never spoken about.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
Why is that?
It's fucking disgusting.
Why is that never?
It is about, but
know.
it's just not publicised as much.
Because
I don't know. Someone said this to me the
Yeah.
other day, and I was gobsmacked. I didn't even know it happened. Like, I did not know that women would, small black boys, pick them and be like,
Yeah, they do.
didn't know.
My
that.
neighbour has been a victim of that in Nigeria.
never knew, man.
But
It's awful.
it's not.
me
But it's the
gullible,
same as
naive,
like the
I don't know,
paedophiles existed back then in the
think women did
60s
shit
and
like that.
50s, and it wasn't projected. Look what Jimmy Savile got away with. But through over time now, but kids were playing out on the street same as how they were playing out on the street when I was on the street.
But
It's
what
the
is
same.
it? What is it that women though? I'm saying the women that sleep with younger boys, it's not something that's spoken about. It's sometimes even championed by men that like, bro, he slept with an older
it's
woman.
still,
Or something.
you're still a paedophile. you are still a paedophile and you need to be shut the fuck down. It's disgusting.
Yeah,
it's the same.
Man
Don't
or
make
woman,
it different.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't.
But why do you think that it's not spoken about with women?
I have no idea.
Because you know what I think it is? I think a lot of women have fantasies of being with younger boys.
What?
Yeah.
What, as in kids or
As
like
in
a
kids?
cougar?
I think a lot of
what
women.
do you mean?
Like children.
Yeah, because we've put it on. We've made it seem as something that is actually sexy. Look at the title, MILF. That title shouldn't exist.
No, it
What's
shouldn't.
MILF?
But I mean, there's levels. Like,
Mother, I'd like to F.
Oh.
Yeah, so I'm saying they've even made the title sound cute, but it's not cute because a young 16-year-old boy shouldn't be thinking of sleeping with my 38-year-old mum.
Yeah.
What kind of madness is that? She's a grown woman, but it'd be championed and it wouldn't be looked at as anything if he done it.
But the woman doing it to the.
But if a boy 38 years old was sleeping with a 16-year-old, what would you lot say?
He's a paedophile. Right?
No, for me,
Something
I would look at it in the same way.
I would
the older person should not be doing that, and that's it. Full
Any
stop.
age, man, woman,
Yeah,
regardless.
I would look at it. You shouldn't be doing that. That's it. Like I said, my neighbour, he's older than me, and when he told me what happened to him when he was a kid, and it was a woman, right? So I don't agree with that at all. Whether it's man or woman, it shouldn't come about. But when it's like why it's not topic of discussion. There's many. It's the same reason why black boys stabbing each other is the topic on, but black people only make up 3% of the population of the UK. But okay, we're the only ones stabbing people. It's the same thing. Do you know what I mean?
No, but what is it? What is it?
Where you're getting your info, because a lot of people, they do feel that way. They feel that whether you're a man or a woman, you should not abuse children, and that's it. And I know a lot of people that feel that way, but then there are some people who don't. I can't say, okay, there are more people that feel this or more people that, because I haven't been around the world and I don't know everything,
the women,
you know?
there's more women doing it than men, and they're just really good at covering it up, maybe, because why the fuck ain't it being spoken about?
Maybe because men have that masculinity, that testosterone, and they don't speak up about it. Because I don't watch EastEnders, but my sister was telling me it was on EastEnders not too long ago with Mick, the pub owner, and he came out as a 40-odd-year-old man about him being abused as a child, and the woman had a child, and the child came back and looked for him, and he said nah, and he didn't want to come out of it because of that masculine, that testosterone thing that's projected. But in the end, he did come out, and the woman was put in jail.
But that's still no reason for it not to be
happened.
spoken about for women doing it. Like, why is it put under the carpet?
I can't say why.
I think like, this is my honest opinion. I think a lot of women fantasize about it and a lot of women commit it. So obviously, if you're guilty of a crime, you're never going to speak about it, are you? Anyone who's guilty of any crime,
So do you think that
doesn't
the
speak
women
about
are
the
doing
crimes that
it
they
more
think
than the
they're
men,
doing.
and they're just covering it up better?
100%. I think it's a topic that a lot of
What
women.
makes you think that though?
I don't think I know it
So
because
what?
I
It makes me question.
because when I was younger, I have older brothers. I liked older women. That was my thing because I have older brothers. I got big brothers. They're like 20 years old, like 10, 15 years older than me. So I've always been a young boy, like 16, always wanting a 24-year-old, 23-year-old. They were like, oh, you're a little boy. But some of them would be like, oh, you think you can handle me? That's what they'll say to me. Older women would always say, bro, you're a little boy, I've got kids your age. And I'd be like, so? I don't care. And because I was so brazen and because I was so open, a lot of older women liked me for that. And then it happened to me when I was younger, and I only realised it the other day. I saw the woman and she's like in her 50s now or 40s, like she definitely in her mid 40s or 50s. So I'm like, bruv, I'm looking back, I'm saying, how old was I when I was with this woman? And I clocked back to my age and I was probably like 18. She was definitely in her 30s. So I'm an 18-year-old youth, yeah. She's had like 14-year-old youths as well, yeah. Her kids are like big youths now. Her youths are big youths. They look at me and scream me like they're big youths. So I'm like, right. I was like 18, 19 max, yeah, and she was like 30. She knew what she was doing. I didn't know what I was doing. I'm a little boy just wanting an older woman.
She's wrong.
But she wouldn't come out and say, yeah, it's wrong, we shouldn't do it. Because she's a culprit. Because most women fantasize.
But to be honest, you know what I mean? You're an adult, so you can make that choice or not.
Okay, but an 18-year-old girl's an adult then when the 30-year-old man then.
That's the thing about...
Let's keep it real then.
It is the trouble. What you're saying is this it always comes back to conditioning again. Because you said it. You said because you had older brothers. Now you're the younger of olders. Now I'm the older of youngers. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's the conditioning thing. Do you know what I mean? So it's not right. Who's to say it's
right?
Do
older women fantasize about younger men? That's what I want to know.
I couldn't say
I just want to know.
Why don't nobody speak?
No, I don't speak.
No, I don't think so. I don't.
Hell
speak the truth.
No,
please.
I don't think that's the case.
Most women don't.
I don't think that's the case.
I've never
You might have
fantasized
had
about
that
a young
experience,
boy.
but it doesn't mean every woman's like that.
Bro,
Do you get what I'm
growing
saying?
up in my 20s, a lot of older women. Yeah, there was a lot of older women. I remember there was a lot of older women.
Because when I was 16, 17, there's older guys pulling up in their cars trying to ask me out.
100%.
Do you get what I'm saying? But then now I'm the age that I'm at. I'm still like young. I've got younger bucks thinking that I'm younger. They want to come move to me, and they're 23. Do you get what I'm saying? 22, 20.
I've grown up.
I mean, I've been drilled by a 17-year-old.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? I think it's personal preference, it's conditioning.
But you see the difference.
It comes down to a lot of things.
Listen to the difference. If a younger girl tried to move to me, I'm like, this is some paedophilic shit. I'm running. If a younger boy moved to an older woman, she's saying that's cute.
No,
that's
she
the
doesn't.
difference.
She
That's where the
doesn't.
problem
We
lies.
say, if I'm old enough to be your
Let's
mum,
be
boy,
equal. Let's
go
be
home.
equal.
Yeah.
Some women-
How old do you think I am? You are old enough to be my son. Let's keep it moving.
Yeah,
That's
some
not
women are
happening.
like that, and some women will say it's cute. It's different.
Nah,
You
it's
can't
not
put
cute.
everyone.
Girls said I was cute, but I used to move to them and be like, "Oh, you're so cute," and then rub my head and stuff, and I was looking
Yeah,
at them
because
thinking,
they're nasty,
"Cute, you don't know
bro.
about me, man."
Yeah,
See what I'm trying to say? But this is what I'm trying to say, and that happens a lot of times. Even when I used to go to Jamaican parties, because Jamaican parties are weird. Like you have all big 39-year-old women in there,
It's
in some
terrible.
mad skin up
It
thing,
is
and then the man will try to wine her down, and she'll give me a wine, blood. The old woman will give me a wine, brother. Get a one little wine. You know, I'm gonna put one little wine in it. You know what I'm saying? I get a one little wine. And then go home and all boast to the man. Yeah.
Yeah, I was lining up with the granny. That's your business. Yeah, that's your business.
But that's what I'm trying to say. It wasn't looked
You
at.
can't put everyone under one
Bucket.
hat.
Yeah, you can't.
You can't put
Watch how
everyone.
much men come
There's
up.
women that will say
watch-
it's cute, and there's women that will say, "Boy, you're too young. Move from me." And that's that. Same with men. Do you know what I mean? You can't put on.
Cute. Do you think that they go home and think, actually, maybe I might go for a younger?
Do you know why? Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. Older men, they lose. As women get older, their sex drive increases. As men grow older, their sex drive decreases.
Yeah,
but
I
the
believe
young
that.
boy is 18, 19. Man is on heat. My man is on heat. Because I remember myself, I was on heat. Like hour 2, 3, I'm ready to go. I'm on go. But when you get older now, you got more responsibilities. You got life. Life starts to become real. It hits you hard. Your daughter's all asking you for trainers, and this son's asking you for that. Life's a little bit more real. You got your boss in your ear. You got lots of things. You're paying your car tax, your driving license. You're paying your water bill. Life is real. It hits hard. So sex is laughing on your mind. You're thinking, man, I got these bills to pay, baby. I got these bills to pay. But a young boy, he ain't got no responsibility. So more time, the older women like the young boys because they know that it's not going to really materialize to nothing, and he's not going to understand what's going on. So he's young. He's not going to realize what I'm going to put on him. Blah blah blah. So I think a lot of older women abuse the younger boys and get away with it. And when they see older men doing it to younger women, they cuss the older man, even though they're no different to him. That's what I believe.
Some of it is
I mean,
that.
you're right.
Some of it is
Yeah.
that. But I wouldn't say all of
There's
it
women.
is
There's
that.
definitely women
A
doing
lot
You
of
know
it.
what I mean?
There's definitely women doing it. I just didn't.
I'm talking about like 70% of women, and I know a lot of young boys.
I wouldn't say
Hell
that
no.
because that's
way.
the difference. Like, there's, every individual, like whether you're
I'll
a
maybe
man
give you a
or
little
a woman,
20%,
you
but
should have an
fucking
equal
70.
balance of masculine and feminine energy. And when I say masculine and feminine energy, I don't mean like, oh, babe, you're right, and all that kind of. I'm talking about how you're thinking, how you're being.
Sorry, this is very random. I'm fucking starving. I need food.
Alright, last one, yeah.
This is
You
too
know
much.
the left side of the right side of the brain is masculine and feminine. Do you know that?
Yeah, I've
Right.
heard that. I've
So
heard that.
you're supposed to, like, for you to be at like a equal balance, like in life, to have a. You can't say the right way of life, but it's a righteous, balanced, good way of life as that serves Allah. It does include having a balance of that, the masculine and feminine energy. So it means with the feminine energy, it's talk about understanding, reason, like empathy, things like that. Masculinity is like being assertive, thinking logical, practical. Do you get what I'm saying? Each individual, whether you're a man or woman, needs to have a equal balance of both of those things for you to evolve as a being, as an individual. Do you know what I mean? So that's what it should be on. That's what everybody individual should be working on to evolve themselves. And to evolve yourself, you do need to work on balancing those two energies that your body and your brain and your soul is operating on. And with that, a key thing of that, to do that, is to have a connection with the divine creator, with Yah. Do you know what I mean? Whether it's through prayer, whether it's through meditation, and do you know what I mean? Whether you're reflecting upon yourself, and saying, "Don't act like this, let me change," and that's it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Hungry.
All right, say nothing.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%. I don't want this episode to finish because I got so much stuff.
There is.
So why don't let's do part 2 because the camera cut anyway. So we need to.
I'm still going on the audio right now. I'm on the audio. I'm on my Spotify. Shout out to my Spotify listeners. Yeah, this is for the Spotify listeners, but yeah, we're definitely getting you back in because I don't feel like I got the full. There's more I want to go into, but there's so much. There's so much to speak about and so less time. But I love it. Shout out to both of you two for coming through. Thank you so much. We will. This is just the part 1. I'm gonna put part 1 on this.
All right, cool.
So we can get to part 2
Part
finished.
2.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, love.
So wrap.